Hello everyone, welcome to Lessons Learned From. And we're going to continue on the Rocky theme. I want to note that I seem like a bigger Rocky fan I'm making it seem like I'm a huge Rocky fan, and I really like the movies, but it's not like I sit and watch them every day. It's just they're so quotable and so relatable to a lot of aspects of motivation and growth, and I keep referencing them anyway, so I figure I might as well do that. But I'm not just going to talk about Rocky after I've completed them. I'll continue on other videos and films and media. A lot of them, ironically, have to do with sports and fighting and boxing, but I'll try to find ones that are less obvious if I can. But for now, Rocky 2. So, piggybacking off of Rocky 1, Rocky 1's lesson for me and my interpretation was about testing your limits and going the distance and taking on a huge challenge even though you feel you may not be ready for it. Now, Rocky 2 is kind of different. Rocky 2 is more of an emotional movie. Because now he's at the point where he didn't win, but he saw what he can do. And Apollo Creed got a lot of backlash because he still was awarded the defense. He won the title. He still won his title, Apollo Creed. He maintained his title. And he was getting a lot of backlash from the media and from the fans of, like, the newfound fans of Rocky, saying, you know, Rocky won that fight, he deserves a rematch and blah, blah, blah. So he's like, okay, fine. You got fed up, and then then Apollo Creed started to, from a promotional fight, which was the first one, was kind of like a promotional gimmick in his eyes, because he didn't think that a local guy was going to actually put him to the test. So from that standpoint, he's like, okay, then I'll give him a rematch, and then that's where he got more aggressive and more, I'm gonna beat this guy. I'm not gonna. So that's Apollo Creed's perspective. He's like, I did this for a show, and I underestimated my opponent, and shame on me for not being the classy champion that I should be. But now I'm gonna actually fight this guy, and I'm gonna be somewhat of an asshole about it too. And then Rocky is I don't know, I don't even remember his reaction to accepting the rematch or not, but he eventually accepts it. But I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't really taking his training seriously. He wasn't he kind of proved himself in his own mind already, and he wasn't he's like, yeah, whatever. But now he has another thing. He has another part of his life that he has to think about. Did he get married in the first one or the second one? Either way, he's married now at some point or another. Whether it was in the previous movie or during the second one, he gets married. And his wife is now pregnant. Adrian is now pregnant. She has to give birth at some point. He's more distracted on his family, which, it's great to love your family, but you need to be a provider for your family. That's one thing. Number two, the media was constantly in his face and getting all for promotion and all that while he's trying to train, and he's buying into it. And then, so his training wasn't as effective as it should have been. Then it gets to a point where Adrian has complications giving birth to their son, Rocky Jr. And there's a powerful speech at that point where she's I believe she's in a coma or something, and Rocky's in a chapel in the hospital, and Mick, his trainer, goes to him and gives him an amazing speech about, you've been given a second chance. Not a lot of people get a second chance. So that's a huge part of this, okay? Not a lot of people get a second chance. Get offered a second chance. So you've been given a second chance. Now, he understood how it's devastating for the situation that he's in, but he also told him that this is not what your wife would have wanted. She wouldn't want you to be feeling defeated like this. So that ties into a lot of things that I talk about with circumstances and blaming our circumstances. Should we neglect things like that when they happen? No, but we can acknowledge them and say that, you know what, because of this, I'm going to be stronger as a person and persevere past it, whatever the circumstance is. Okay? So Mickey said, you've been given a second chance. You fought like you've never fought in your life. against him the first time, and now you're not ready. You're not ready. If you fight him now, he'll eat you alive. I think that's actually what he says. If you fight him now, he'll eat you alive. You're not ready. And then he's just like, whatever you want to do, I stick with you, but prove what you're worth, and like take the second chance. If you like have a change of heart, but I'll do whatever you want. Like I'll support you with whatever you want. And then the real tipping point, I think that might have chipped away at Rocky's like what was going on in his mind at that moment. But I know the tipping point is pretty obvious and it's right in your face, is when he sees his wife. She gets out of a coma, and like basically within a few sentences, she tells him she wants him to win the match. Then that's when he takes his fighting seriously. Now, in your face, the obvious, she said she wants him to win, so he wants to win. But symbolically and like underlying, really, he realizes now he has a wife and a son. He has something that he's fighting for, literally fighting for and figuratively fighting for. Our quest and our fight is not actually a fight, generally. If you are a fighter, a boxer, or whatever, it might be. But now he has a reason. He has, beyond himself, he has a child to provide for and a wife. And now he has a reason to live and a reason to fight to give them the best life that they want. So that's his reason. So the point is, to tie it all together from Rocky 2, is if you are offered a second chance, take it. Also, create your own second chances if you can, or make a new thing, but don't stop. Okay. The complications and circumstances that he was feeling, he ultimately overcame them. But for us, when we have these circumstances, we can use them to build strength for us, or to make us weak and never grow and blame our life because of things that happened. Okay? And then that ultimately is, we need a reason to do what we're doing. And I may make a video for my whys, my reasons. But we all need a reason, because if it's just the wealth, or just the car, or just the big house, that's not the reason. The reason has to be deep. It's so deep that it goes beyond yourself. It transcends yourself. In Rocky's case, he now has a family. He has a wife and a child. And most people will say that are in that situation. I'm not personally, but most people will say that. And then that really stands to question, then, if that is your reason, how much of a burning desire is that reason? Like, is that really fueling you? And if it's not, reflect. And if you truly want that to be your reason, then think about how powerful that reason is to you. So that's all. That's the lessons learned from Rocky 2. Pretty obvious, but still a deeper movie than Rocky 1, in my opinion. Totally different stories, but continuation from each other. The format's always the same. Train, fight. But deep messages. So that's Rocky 2, and I hope you enjoyed. Let's keep growing together. Find your reason. Find your why. Don't blame your life circumstances for anything. Use them to grow and make you stronger. And if you do get offered a second chance, take it and maximize it. All right, guys, take care and have a great day.